Josh, I imagine that the Plymouth game was about as an eventful opening day to the season as you've ever had.
Yeah, it was. Ended up being, a decent result in the end. But yeah, it was quite an eventful game. A lot going on, but I was quite proud of how the lads, stuck it out and ended up getting the 3 points, which was good.
Particularly with going down to 10 men in the second half, you must have been delighted with the way the team reacted to that and saw the game out.
Yeah, definitely. I think especially because last year, I think we'd probably end up drawing or losing that game, especially after we went 2-1 down, even with 11 men. So I think to show that, we stuck it out, we got the 3 points, we ended up getting another goal even after defending really well, defending the box well. I think it was quite a big positive.
Harsh on Jack Shepherd, wasn't it, in terms of the 2 yellow cards? You must have felt for him.
Yeah, it was harsh. I don't think the second one was deserved at all. Yeah, it was. I think if the ref might have remembered that he gave him the first one, he wouldn't have given the second one. So it was one of those things. But yeah, it is what it is. We got a crack on anyway without him on Saturday, and then he'll be back after that.
It's talked about a difference in the fact that you may not have got that result last season. Why do you think that? What's changed and what's Connor done this summer to change that and move that on as a team?
I think it's probably just a mentality thing. I think a lot of players maybe have, matured. Me included. There's a few other lads that will have matured. We had a very young back four. It's finishing the game on Saturday, and I think it just shows how much those lads have matured since last season as well.
How much have you enjoyed the summer? Working under Connor. Clearly, you had a bit of time at the end of last season, but he certainly comes across as somebody who's very drilled, knows exactly what he wants, and clearly has started with a good result.
Yeah, I think you just hit the nail on the head there. I mean, he is very, very drilled. Knows exactly what he wants from us, and which is very helpful because we know exactly what we've got to do then to either keep our spot in the team or perform better as a team as well. And it was a great result on Saturday. We've got a chance on this Saturday to go and get a decent home form going, and we're all looking forward to it.
Talk to us about how Young's changed. So we saw in the last season play left back at times as well as the left of a back three. It's very much a 4 now. So what's different, not just in terms of the position, but what's been asked of you as a defender?
Nothing more than that would be asked normally. I think it's just about defending the goal, as best as you can do. I think one of my strengths is, like I've always said, is carrying the ball out of defence and stuff, and playing forward passes. So I think that's something that I've got to just keep on doing. But it may be a little bit more defensive work needed in a back four instead of playing the left side of the three. But again, it's very similar to you're a centre half at the end of the day, so it's same as both.
And I imagine the fact though that you are playing with at times 4 up front, looking to hit those diagonals, looking to get people forward, that does put a little bit more emphasis on the back lads because there may be a few more spaces in front of you.
Yeah, of course. There will be times where we feel a little bit open potentially, but it's just all about, as a back four, making sure that we're shuffling across and making sure that we're organised, and I think we've done a lot of work defensively, and we're still doing it now even. So I think that's a massive part that we all need to improve on from last season, and hopefully with the work that we were doing and the work that we will continue doing, it will help a lot.
I imagine Richard Keogh coming in has been good for that. Somebody with a heck of a lot of experience in your role.
Yeah, exactly. We're doing a lot of sessions with Keezy, and they've been really good. It's a lot of unit work and a lot of moving your feet, and all the basics of defending really that sort of get neglected a little bit when you become a professional and start training. So I think those are things that are really good to keep on top of, and there's a lot of experience from Keys that we can all learn from.
Talk to us a little bit about your relationship with Connor, because this time last year he was a teammate, then he was a staff member, now he's the gaffer. I imagine it's been a strange one, in fact, when you look back at that whole last 12 months.
Yeah, I think do you know what? I don't even remember Connor as like a teammate as much at the moment. I've always sort of seen him as like one of the more experienced. Like even when he was a teammate for the short period, he was always an experienced player that you want to learn from. And I think as soon as he went into coaching and stuff, and became the manager, it's not really changed much. Obviously, you've got quite a good relationship with him because he's quite young, and it is really nice in that sense. But at the same time, he is, like we said, like well driven, very focused. So we definitely see him as the gaffer.
Give us an insight into what he's been like over the summer and what he's really big on that we might not necessarily see.
I think it's just a lot of togetherness that he wants to try and bring within the group, and there's obviously a lot of different patterns and styles of play that he wants to introduce and stuff like that. But it's all about making sure that you do the basics really well, like working really hard, blocking shots, sprinting back in for these situations and stuff like that. All the things that should be given, but sometimes again like get neglected and get forgotten about in football. So yeah, like I said, we've been doing a lot of work defensively. We're doing a lot of work on meetings and going through the previous clips from like last year and the positive ones from this year and pre-season stuff. So I think there's just an all-round good feeling about the place at the moment.
At the other end of the scale, just give us your thoughts on Vimal Yoganathan and how good he was last weekend, because we were certainly impressed with what he managed to do at Plymouth.
Yeah, well, I think we all knew that Vimal was going to be a decent player. Even when he came up and started training with us last season, he got a couple of little sniffs as well, and then he went out on loan and did his thing over at Oldham as well. So it's not a big shock that he's come back and done really well on Saturday. He definitely has it in him to improve and become a very, very top player. So as long as he just keeps, and he's a very grounded, humble, really nice lad as well. So I think that'll help him going forward as well.
Comes across that there's a level of confidence there as well that might be beyond his years, which I suppose if you marry that with that grounded, humble aspect, that's a potentially really good combination for him.
Yeah, of course. I think you've got to believe in yourself as a footballer, because a lot of the time no one else does. So Vimali's lucky that everyone around him is believes him, and he believes in himself as well. He's very confident, which is good. But like I said, he's still a very humble lad and looking to learn, which is really, really good.
And there's a few youngsters around the squad. We saw Jonathan Blanc come on, Connor Barrett come on. These guys are going to play key parts, aren't they, this season? These aren't academy lads stepping up now. You feel like they've got a real role to play this season.
Yeah, well, the squad itself for us isn't huge. So they are going to play massive parts in this season. Whether it's starting games, whether it's coming on from the bench and seeing games out like the lads did on Saturday. That's as important as starting the game for me, because they've come on with 10 men and they've seen the game out and got 3 points. So, like I said, they're going to be very, very integral parts of the season, and I think that'll only give them a great experience, for their careers going forward, and hopefully it will help us out a lot massively as well.
First home game of the season this weekend. I imagine you and some of the other lads that were there last season would quite like a few more home wins this year.
Yeah, of course. Again, I've always said this. Like, I don't know what the mentality difference is between away games and home games, but my mentality will stay exactly the same as it did on Saturday. Of course, we want to get a few more home wins, and I'm sure we will do this season. But yeah, we've got a good opportunity to start it off on Saturday well, and that's what we're looking forward to doing.
What do you think's possible this season? There's some real quality within the squad. I know the club's looking to bring in a few more, but Saturday will have raised hopes, won't it? What do you think's realistic?
I don't think we can raise too many. I'm not going to guess what happens for the rest of the season based on the first game, unfortunately. But yeah, it was a good performance. Yeah, it was a good win. Anything's possible in football. There's absolutely nothing that is impossible. Like, we could go and win the league, we could go and get playoffs, we could finish 12th again. I don't know. Obviously, want to be positive and say that I think playoffs is definitely the aim, and that's what everyone will be looking forward to doing. But let's just not look too far into the future now and focus on Saturday.
Very good. Like it, Josh. Thank you, mate.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Just thinking, Josh, can you remember as a professional being pushed more in pre-season? Because it seems like he's really sort of put you through it.
Yeah, I think pre-season itself's been tough. I think the thing that I've found most difficult is like we've not really had any days off as such, which again is proven to be worked quite well so far. So yeah, it's definitely been a tough pre-season, but again, we'll get the rewards for it once the season gets going.
I mean, obviously you don't make predictions or anything, but is there a little bit part of the squad thinking no one's really spoken about Barnsley? Maybe they did last year, but it seems to be now it's all Huddersfield, Luton, Cardiff, that you can maybe makes you a bit more determined, and you can maybe slip under the radar a little bit.
Potentially, yeah. I don't really listen to the social media and things like that. That's
very
something
wise.
I don't really pay much attention to, so I wouldn't know if they speak about us or not. But yeah, if that's the case, then definitely it's you can sometimes clubs like us can slip under the radar in those situations, because again, Saturday's performance, I know I said we don't want to get too excited over it, but it was a good performance. If we go and do another good performance on Saturday, get another win, then we can slowly start slipping under the radar, pick up a few results here and there, and like I said, pushing on to whatever.
A lot's been made of the home form last season, this, that and the other. Is it just a case simply of making it a harder place to sort of come for visiting sides almost? And it's your home. Just if teams do get something, they're going to have to play well and scrap for everything.
Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, like I said, I don't see the mentality difference in away games and home games. I think if anything, your mentality should be a little bit stronger, a little bit more confident at home. So I don't think that's got anything to do with it. I think, hopefully this season we can prove that has nothing to do with it. We can go and make, Oakwell a tougher place to come and make sure teams, when they leave, and even if they have, sometimes we're going to lose at home, we're going to get draws at home or stuff like that. And when they leave, make sure they go, gee, that was a nice place to go. Yeah. So that's what we want to make it to be like.